Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back again with another video for you guys. We're keeping it consistent here on AdamMcKola TV these days. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button right below my ugly mug and keep it locked to this channel. The other day, we had a look at the things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has fixed at Manchester United a year on since the arrival as the permanent manager. In this video, in the order of balance and in the order of fair play, we're going to look at the things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer must fix in the next year if he's to continue as Manchester United manager and hopefully prove to be a success. So this is the video where we look at the things he needs to get right and he needs to sort out, or he needs to add to the team to continue building on these foundations that we have actually put into place. So let's get stuck into 10 things Ole must fix. First things first, and this is something that's dragged on consistently, is sort out that Paul Pogba situation. Does he want to stay? Does he want to go? If he wants to stay, cool, sign a new deal so that we know you're definitely going to be around at Manchester United and there's no possibility of you causing any fuss in the next window or two, so that we've got some sort of commitment from you. If not, then let's sell him. Let's get the player out of there, get a fee in for him and replace him within that squad with other players. You all know I'm a massive fan of Paul Pogba. I want him to be at Manchester United. I believe we'd be stronger with him, and we can really, start to get serious about things if we could keep Paul Pogba in the situation and add a few more players into the mix. But if he's not committed and he doesn't want to be here, we don't want to be going through the same issues again every single summer or every single transfer window. And if he's going to stay, sign a deal. And that's one of the things I think Ole's actually done well with so far, is kind of just keep knocking those questions back, not buy into any of the talk, not to buy into any of the hype, to keep it all focused on Manchester United, put Manchester United first, and let's get this situation sorted now in the summer. Get it sorted once and for all. You're going to be here or not, let's move on. Number 2, we need to get that right wing position sorted. Yes, we do. Now, we've been linked with Jadon Sancho. Obviously, if he could come in, fill that number 7 shirt, fill that right hand side, we'd be sorted for the foreseeable future there. We've had Daniel James playing there at times and he's offered us a fair few assists. He's our best assist maker in the Premier League this season. But we've seen him fizzle out towards the back end of the season due to probably being overplayed. The levels completely changed for him from when he was at Swansea in the Championship to coming to Manchester United, playing in the Europa League, playing at the highest level in the league. And it seemed to all catch up with him. I think he needed to be rested more. And for me, Dan James is more of a squad player. We need to get that wing sorted. On the left-hand side of a front three or whatever, you'd seemingly think that that is Marcus Rashford's position. And if he's not there, you could always pull Anthony Martial out there or whatever. But that right-hand side, we haven't got anyone naturally fit in there. Yes, Daniel James can play there, but every week, not for me. Mata, not natural. Lingard, not natural. Anybody else that we put out there is not a natural fit. Jadon Sancho would be that. But regardless of whether we sign Jadon Sancho or not, we need to get that position sorted. Number 3, the defensive midfield position. Now, we're looking at Pogba, Bruno, Mata. We've got all these creative attacking midfielders, and who knows, we might even still have Pogba next season. But something that we don't have a whole host of is defensive quality in that midfield. Now, you've got Matic there, who seemingly resolved his issues with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's going to stay. And he's been putting in some good performances, but he's not getting any younger. He's not going to be able to play week in, week out. He's going to have his game time managed, and he's not someone we can rely on playing every week in that position. So who else can we put there? You can put Fred there, but I feel he's more of a natural fit in an 8 position as a midfield 3. Yes, he can play as a 6, and yes, he can play deeper, but I still think we need a little bit more of defensive tenacity in there. Scott McTominay is another one that could possibly do that. But for me, again, probably better as an 8 with someone more stronger, more defensively minded behind him, like a Matic or like a new signing that we could possibly bring in, who knows, a Thomas Partey or whatever. But I think that position is something we need to get resolved, whether it's from within the squad or bringing in a new player. Because if we can sort that out, then going forward, having options in the 8 and the 10 positions of Bruno and Pogba and McTominay and Fred isn't bad at all. Number 4, it's not a major issue, but we need it sorted. Sort the centre-backs. We can still trim things there. We've got a whole host of centre-halves. Smalling's out on loan, Rojo's out on loan, Jones is still at Man United. Those are 3 players that could probably be shipped off in the summer, and we could recoup 30-40 million pounds combined for all of them. If you can do that, then you're looking at your centre-halves as Bailly, Twanzebe, Lindelof, Maguire. Those are a good selection of centre-halves, but you probably still need a little bit of quality on that. If we play in a back 3 all the time, who knows? There's still those question marks about Axel. I'm a big fan of his, but when he was going to be brought in, he got injured. We haven't got to see him properly in the United shirt, so we have to sort out that centre-half position. Get it nailed down, who your main selection is. At the moment, most of the dead wood in our squad is probably still in and around that position at centre-half, even though we have got a more settled defence this season. Number 5, improving those results against the smaller teams. Now, these are the teams that we would be expecting to beat: the Villas, the Evertons, the Sheffield United. We didn't get the games won against them, and that was partly, I feel, down to selection and the players that we had available at our disposal. You think if we had Pogba and Bruno in those games, the results are probably a little bit different. But the facts are we didn't, and Ole did make some mistakes. And I think at times you can be too slow to change things in those matches when it's clear things aren't going right. And although towards the tail end of the season, what we saw, he began to improve in those games and we began to get the results more consistently in those games, there's still that question mark there about us. And, you know, when teams sit in, it can be made too easy for them. Now, Bruno comes in and he looks amazing in there, but he will go through a time where he has a little bit of a dip in form, and who else is going to step up? At the moment, you can't see much, and without Bruno Fernandes in the side, without Pogba in the side, our strikers really will struggle. So then it comes down to the way we set up, the way we play in those games, changing things when we need to change things and when you can see things aren't going right. Because that is an area where I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could have improved this season. Had we done that, we're comfortably top 4. Comfortably top 4, and we're not even talking about, we could get Champions League based on 5th if City aren't, because we'd be in the top 4. So that is another area where we need to improve and we need to fix. Number 6, add more goals. Now, in the first video where I said the things that he has fixed, I mentioned Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, the way he's got them scoring goals, the way he's got them happy and performing well again. But we do need more goals from in and around the team and in other areas. I think Bruno Fernandes is a great addition. Pogba coming back would obviously bring more goals into there, but you can't just be relying on your strikers for goals. And we have done a lot of that throughout the season. Now, I think that will change when you sign better players. If you bring in a Jadon Sancho, you add goals in him, but you also add goals to your other players as well. But yeah, we have to add more goals to the squad. We can't just be relying on those strikers. Number 7, and this is the area we've struggled with really badly this season. We need strength in depth. We need a few signings, a few players introduced from the academy. We need to get that strength in depth because our squad has been way too thin. Now, that's partly down to the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was happy to let a number of players leave, and we only brought in, a few players at that time. We've had injuries to key players, which hasn't helped. And again, that's affected our depth. But you have to be prepared for injuries. You have to be prepared for those kind of situations in football and in long seasons. And we need strength in depth in that squad. We've got rid of a lot of dead wood now. I think we've cleared a lot of the wage bill. We will clear more of the wage bill when you think of, Smalling, Sanchez, they'll leave. Jones could possibly leave. Rojo could possibly leave. That frees up more space in the squad. That frees up more space on the wage bill to then bring in other players that can be depth. Now, I do think if we improve our first 11, naturally some of those players that are in our first 11, Daniel James, Scott McTominay, they become squad players. And if you're looking at them as squad players, you're thinking, fucking fantastic. That's exactly the kind of players you need in and around your squad, on your bench in certain games. Obviously, I'm not saying they're going to start every game on the bench before you start saying, but we need strength in depth. And we don't quite have that. And that's why we've been relying on certain players this season when we wouldn't have wanted to have done that. Number 8, bring in a bit of experience. I really think this squad lacks that experience now. I think in Igalo, he has brought that in and up top, but he's not really a winner. He's not a winner. Do you know what I mean? He's brought in a bit, you know, Matic has been reintroduced to the side. He's got a little bit about him. He's got a little bit of experience within him. Harry Maguire, I'm sure he'll be a leader, but is he really experienced to the level that we want to be experienced at? And we've lost a lot of experience over the last few years. And maybe this comes into the strength in depth area. That maybe when we are bringing in those squad players, bringing in 1 or 2 would be important to have a little bit of experience, a little bit of knowledge and of a bit of wisdom in there, because we are lacking that throughout the team. You look at, we've got very young players in all sorts of positions. Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, that's our main front three. Obviously Garlo's in there now. In midfield, very inexperienced. Now, you know, I know Bruno's a leader, but in the Premier League, is he experienced? We've got question marks over there yet. He's obviously come in and done fantastically well. And I think if you keep Pogba, it probably looks a bit different. But I do think we need 1 or 2 players that are just different, a different level, and can help drag things together as well at times. Number 9, sort that away form out. Our away form this season on a whole was pretty abysmal. Now, in recent weeks and months, it looks better. But there was a period, I think we even went into 2020, where we hadn't won back-to-back away games. And that is dreadful, especially for a team like United. And if you want to be fighting for trophies, you want to be fighting for titles and, you know, trying to win things, you have to be much, much better on the road consistently. It's that simple. Now, I think there's been areas where we haven't been helped in, and there's things that Ole couldn't have helped himself with. But I think that also comes down to tactical naivety at times, making the right substitutions at times, the way you set up when you're away from home. I think we just have to improve, and dealing with that pressure of going to games, going to stadiums, knowing that this is their cup final. This is the biggest game of the season for most clubs when we arrive there and we rock up. So their fans are going to be on a different level, their players are going to be on a different level. Again, that probably comes down to a little bit of experience in the team. But our away form must improve if we want to win the big trophies. And in number 10, Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to win a trophy. That's what he needs to do, because that simply will keep the Wolves at bay, and it's what's expected at Manchester United now. Before everything got postponed and cancelled and put on hold, it seemed possible we could win a trophy, the Europa League or the FA Cup, but it wasn't a dead cert. And I think within the next 12 months, if he's to still be in charge, we have to look like we're going to win trophies or win a trophy. And by next season, we have to be looking like a team that's possibly going to be winning the league soon as well. Because you look at the foundations that are in place, you look at what could possibly happen in the summer, the players that we need to bring in. And if we bring those players in, there's no excuses for Manchester United not to be winning trophies, which of course we could have done this season. Hopefully might still do if it continues again. But next season we have to be doing. We have to have that consistency against all teams, the smaller teams, and of course keep up our form in the bigger games and keep going, but keep improving and win a trophy as well. Because that's how Manchester United managers are judged, and that's how you'll keep the Wolves off your back, getting results, winning trophies. And if Ole did lift the trophy for United, whether it's the Premier League, Europa League, Champions League, FA Cup, whatever, it'd be a magical moment. It'd be a magical moment. The pride that we all felt when we saw Giggsy walking out as manager, the pride that we all feel when we see Ole in charge, whether we think he's the man or not, you know, it's something special seeing him in charge of United. And if he could lift the trophy, imagine that. It'd be fucking amazing, wouldn't it? It'd be amazing. And I think the foundations are there in place for us to have a team within the next 6 to 12 months that should be winning and should be challenging for all of the trophies. So guys, let us know what you think in the comments below and what Ole needs to fix going forward in the next 12 months after 1 year in charge as permanent manager of Manchester United. If you haven't already, check out the video where we looked at the things that Ole has fixed at Manchester United in his first year. Make sure you're keeping it locked to AdamMcKola TV as well, because we've got loads of content coming your way. Daily content here. We got United Daily live every single day, and we have daily content around other things as well. Tactics, transfers, all that good stuff, things like this. So make sure you're keeping it locked, subscribe, like, comment, share, and you can now join and become a member of AMTV as well. So go and check that out. For now though, I've been AdamMcKola. You lot have been legends. I'm out of here.